The order a little bit. We've got some busy people here and a great freedom fighter in the form of Attorney General Ken Cuccinelli, who will speak to us.
Well, good morning, citizens of Virginia. Boy, it's like they emptied the bleachers and everybody came over here. This is great to see. It's good to see you all on a great, gorgeous day. I'm so glad so many of you are here. I'm not sure I remember a crowd this big here on Lobby Day. This is superb, and it's a great expression by the sovereigns of Virginia about who's in charge, and it's the citizens of Virginia, and I'm so glad y'all are here. We live in interesting times. I think that used to be a curse, but this year we're confronting more federal overreaching or proposed federal overreaching of power than we've seen in our adult lifetimes, certainly in my adult lifetime. And it's time for people like you all to step up and to draw the lines that our founding fathers thought they drew very clearly. And we need to re-emphasize that there are sovereigns in America. One of them is the Commonwealth of Virginia. This is a sovereign state run and owned by you, the citizens, and we, the citizens of Virginia. And we need that attitude to be reinstated across America. And now, what they do in the other 49 states is up to them. But what we can do where we live is advocate again to bring back to life the 10th Amendment, to bring back to life those boundaries in our constitutional system that were supposed to be the critical checks in the checks and balances system. Without them, we lose, gradually, we lose our liberty. And let's talk about one example of that. I see some signs about health care around here. Keep your hands off my health care. That sounds pretty good. If the federal government can order you to buy anything with the penalty of going to jail, then you are not a free man or woman in the United States of America. And I know everybody here shares with me the commitment to maintaining that freedom.
Yes, right.
And we have tools at our disposal. I know you're going to hear from Delegate Marshall shortly. You haven't heard from him yet, have you? No. I assume I wouldn't have gotten up this fast. I kid. But that's one example. His effort in the House Bill 10, is one example of how you can strengthen the position of the Commonwealth's lawyer as we look at what the final bill on health care may contain. And it's, again, one example. And if they're ordering you with the threat of jail, threat of prison and fines to buy their product or their approved products, then we will have had our liberty reduced if we don't resist it, if we don't fight it, and by golly, we're going to fight it.
That's right.
Now, you have heard an awful lot about the so-called Cornhusker kickback. I will say it's a great name for the way they buy votes up there. But and the Louisiana Purchase, they're getting very creative with this stuff. But And that's being looked at to be challenged by not just Republican attorneys general, it's bipartisan. It's bipartisan. Freedom doesn't know parties. Liberty doesn't know parties. And it shouldn't. It shouldn't. But there are other problems with that bill, and there are other things the federal government is looking at doing, and labor laws, on taking over our ability to govern ourselves and our environment, soon to be regulating our exhaling.
Oh boy.
And one thing after another. And I'd ask you to consider for a moment what James Madison would think about any one of these proposals.
He would tear it down.
He would tear it down, or after he threw up. And we need, as citizens of Virginia, to protect that legacy and to win it back. An awful lot of folks, I see some veterans hats here, and thank you all for your service. A lot of folks have put an awful lot on the line and sacrificed a lot, sacrificed their lives, their families have sacrificed to pass along the gifts that the founders passed to us. And I appreciate you all taking a whole day, coming down here to Richmond, letting your elected officials know where you stand, and to remind them of the Constitution that they swore an oath to. They swore an oath to. And the importance of it today, as much as in 1776, 1787, and in 3010, if we're still here. And a lot of what we do, one generation after another, will determine if we are. America isn't a people, a tribe, a clan. We are bound together by a commitment to core principles. And it's appropriate, it's Martin Luther King Day. He called our national creed, that one sentence in the Declaration of Independence that you all know. It was a great name for it. It's a great title for it. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, endowed by who? Not a government, not men, by their Creator, with certain unalienable rights. And among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Our national creed. I want to thank you all for taking the time and effort to come here to defend that posterity and to do it peacefully within our political system. But I want to ask you something else. When you go home, you're not done. You're not done.
That's right.
If you don't take this home with you, it isn't going to mean a lot, and it isn't going to accomplish much. And the place we win back our Constitution, and make no mistake, we need to win it back. We're not just defending it, we've got to take it back. Is in the elections in the Commonwealth of Virginia and across America. And you need to be involved. You need to be engaged in your communities, in your districts, whatever they may be. And you need to make your voice heard. And don't think that one person doesn't count. As a guy who won his last Senate race in a recount, I promise you, they do. We've got about 20 times the margin of my Senate race right here. And one person can organize enough and get a message out enough to change Virginia. And every single one of you can do that. And you must do that. You must commit to doing that, and to pray for the strength to get through the process, to push forward, to achieve the goals that were set out for this country by our founding fathers, looking to heaven for guidance over 200 years ago. God bless every one of you. Thank you for being here.